What is up, legends? Welcome back to the Loot Lounge. We are finally back, and it's season 2 in quotations because it's pretty much just a carry on from previous episodes, but we're going to pretend we're in a brand new season and we've got new stuff coming. But yeah, we're finally back, and I'm actually really excited to be back because we've got a new Fortnite season in 3 to 4 days, just around the corner. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is the new season, what we want to see, what we liked about this season / chapter so far. And yes, there's a bunch of content in store for us today, but we're joined by some special guests as well, because you can't have a podcast without guests. So we have got the co-host, one of our co-hosts. We've got Brucey Boy, aka Purex.
Hi. My name is Bruce.
How are you, man? You excited to be back doing this? I feel like we did this the last episode after there was a big gap, a big break.
Yeah, man. So excited. I can't wait for this podcast. It's going to be great.
We've actually got a returning veteran coming back as well. He's the old boomer, aka Straw Desert.
Of course, you introduced me like that.
So you can even hear it in his voice. He's got like that boomer tone. So, you know, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, 5 minutes from now, I'll start sounding like some old guy. Like, we got Greek mythology.
He's got all that wise Greek wisdom, so it's really like taking a toll on him.
We brought him on is because he's from back at that time, you know.
It is,
Greek
yeah.
I know too much.
He's reminiscing of his past, so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we've actually got a brand new guest on here. He is a leaker within the Fortnite community, and it is Leaky. I'm sure most of the people will know Leaky, but yeah, hey Leaky.
Hola.
How are you, man? You excited?
I'm so excited.
You can hear that in his voice. He's really he's either sleep deprived or is forced to be here. So we can probably all guess which one it is. It's definitely not forced, but yeah.
Both.
What we're going to be doing, like I said, is we're going to be talking about the this current season and then the new season coming up as well. Because just calling it here, I think we're going to be leading into quite a strong season. We'll probably reevaluate this in another episode, but yeah, see how right we are. But going into the first topic, and I'll start off with Bruce. What's your thoughts on this current season? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know.
Okay, so I think this season had one of the strongest starts we've ever had to any season ever in the game. But I also think it has one of the worst fall-offs because of how good the start was. After a month, I thought it became extremely stale. I don't even remember any of the updates we had because I feel like we only had like 2 of them through all 3 months. So yeah, I think it was a good start, and then it became boring for me. But I'm still playing it from some time to time. So
how did you feel about like the loot pool and the mechanics? And...
The loot pool, I like the loot pool. I still find some of the weapons and stuff a bit boring, which I think we just got to get used to because I feel like every season there's just gonna be a new shotgun, an AR, and SMG, which is kind of sad because I like having new items instead of guns. Did we have any mythics? Oh yeah, we have the mythic guns. Yeah.
And then we have the ninja.
Well,
I thought the
the Ninja Turtle stuff was cool. That was fun to play with. And then we have the grapple hook as well, which I kind of like now. I didn't like it at the beginning, but yeah, the loot pool's okay. I'd say like a 6 out of 10.
I was quickly just jump in and then I'll let the other boys go. But I keep saying in this podcast. I'm not used to recording again like this. But I agree with Purex. I feel like I had a really strong start, especially like launching in from. Let's be honest, I don't know about you guys, but the event was good, but it wasn't worth the wait after a whole year for it pretty much just to be an advertisement. Yeah. There was no like storyline stuff to it, which I know lots of people enjoy for an event, but it had such a strong start. Like the season, I love launching into the season. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, new map gets you hyped. We had the trains, we had a decent loot pool. We had the weapon modding, which was sick. And then we shifted into having a bunch of brand new game modes come out. We had the Lego mode, which was incredible, and it flopped drastically, which we don't talk about.
Yeah.
And then we had the racing, and then the festival, which the festival is just still like taking off, carrying on. That's probably carrying out of all the 3 game modes, and probably Lego fell off the hardest. But yeah, for me, I enjoyed playing at the start just because we had all those brand new modes. Like I played Lego like for a solid good 2 weeks straight, like just enjoying the heck out of it. Then we moved on to like rocket racing and that. So the playability because of the extra modes was really fun. But I found after like maybe the first month, my interest started to drop down again. I think it's just a regular occurrence. Like it's always going to have that drop down period, like for me personally. I went and played Rust and had some other fun. And just because of which we'll talk about later. Some certain things happened in game, so it kind of brought everyone back to playing. But out of 10, I'd probably rate this season like a 6. I like the loot pool.
Yeah.
I actually really like the loot pool this season. I like the Ninja Turtle mythics. Love that the business turrets are back. They can be annoying when they're used on me, but I love just like going to a vault, chucking them down, and then if someone's coming, I just hear it go off and go beep boop and just like kill them. So yeah, that's really good, and I enjoy the weapon modding, and I hope they expand on that in the future. Mythics were like, it's cool that we had them, but it's just like they're mythics, man. Like they're just another gun. Like I want powers and stuff, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And the medallions were really cool. I did like that. After they debuffed them, they weren't the greatest after they nerfed them. But yeah, I think it was a solid season. It just wasn't my all-time favorite. It had a really good strong start, but it did fall off a bit. But
I gotta say I agree with a lot of what's been said already. It definitely had a good start. I do want to say that I agree with you on the event and how that was. It did feel more like an advertisement, and I'll be honest, I think the recent occurrence with the hand event in Pandora's Box, that really showcases how much the community really loves being able to be in a normal battle royale match and witness this stuff happen in cinematic form, but with normal gameplay. I feel like with Big Bang and like a lot of the ones that we've had recently, like especially the one in Resistance, yes, it's cool to have like these new incorporated game mechanics, but I feel like it's nice to have that original feel to these live events where you can just be on the battle royale map doing whatever it is you're doing, and then all of a sudden, ooh, giant hand emerges from the ground.
yeah,
Like that's the kind of stuff that I miss. And I don't mind if they incorporate all the other stuff into it at some point, but I would like it to at least start like that. Like with the Big Bang did start like that. That is what I enjoy, is seeing that happen. But it quickly switched over to something else, and it's like, okay, am I watching a movie here? What's going on?
yeah.
In terms of that I feel like I would like them to be a little bit more like what they are like with the recent one. But for the start of the season, it did start great. Lego Fortnite Festival, Rocket Racing, all that happening. It really made Fortnite boom for a little while, but I feel like it did have quite the fall off this particular season. I feel like there was a lot of potential for what they could have done, and it feels a lot more lackluster this time than it ever has. I would probably compare this season to that of Chapter 3 Season 1, because it was a great start, but over time it was just like, okay, what's next? Let's move on.
See, I feel like I liked Chapter 3 Season 1 a lot more, just because we had the Christmas event. We had Tilted, like the melting. We had the Covert Cavern open up and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like there was a bit more in that season. That season's got a real special place in my heart. But yeah.
I mean, I definitely
what you
really
mean, though.
liked this season. I really liked the whole feel for the new map, and a lot of this map really feels like Chapter 3 to me. I would probably agree, Underground being 6 out of 10.
What do you think about the Battle Pass? Did you like that?
Yeah, I really like the Battle Pass. There's only one character that I didn't necessarily care for all that much, and it was Hope.
I feel like I'm going to get a bit of hate because, look, don't get me wrong, we've had worse Battle Passes, but it wasn't the strongest for me. I'd probably give the Battle Pass like a 6 as well. I feel like it just matched the season. But it wasn't a bad Battle Pass, and Valeria was an amazing tier 100 skin. She's a baddie, but
Peter Griffin.
See, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I hate Peter Griffin. Like, I don't care for any Family Guy stuff, so it's just like, eh. But like for the people that are fans, like, I'd love it. Like, I can understand the hype. So
I'm not even necessarily a fan. I just thought it was hilarious.
the reason
I feel like that's what Fortnite should be. Just
Yeah,
a lot
just
of
random
hilarious
stuff.
moments.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked him to begin with, but the reason why I hate him is because there was this one guy at I was on the jam stage, and there was this we were doing like our the timer challenges. How if you get 5 minutes, you get a certain amount done for your dailies. And there was this one guy in the Peter Griffin skin, and he kept playing the Butter Barn on vocals, and he just would not stop, and it's ruined Peter Griffin for me for some reason. I don't know why.
I thought you were gonna say that he did like the bird is the word emote the whole time instead of actually doing anything else.
That would make me hate him even more. What about you, Leaky? Did you enjoy this season?
It was definitely a really good start for a chapter. I think it was one of the best. I do agree with Straw that it had the same output as Chapter 3 season 1 in terms of like build up and start, because I did feel like had a good start, had a good mid, but once the end started coming up, it kind of not completely fell off, but more as to kind of died down.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, we did get story at the end of that. So I guess there's a what's the word?
Positive?
Something to trade for.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If I had to rate the season, at least a 7.
Okay,
I did like
nice.
the loot pool. I did like the battle pass. I did like the medallions. Did like the wall climbing. I feel like that doesn't get talked a lot.
That's true, yeah.
I feel like I never actually witnessed that myself. Like every single match I've played, I barely ever do I ever
Yeah,
have my character do that. I can't replicate it very easily.
I don't play
I've
builds
never
too
even.
much, so I don't really get to see it as much as I should. I use it a lot on buildings, but that's about it.
I only play builds, and I have not seen it once. I genuinely haven't seen people use it at all.
I feel like it's a kind of thing where you feel like you should be able to just run up to a wall, jump on the wall, and be like, aha, yoink,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
reach up to a higher place. But that doesn't happen. You just run into the wall.
Mhm, yeah.
It only happens with builds.
And I think like it'd be cool. I know it'd be hard, but instead of like, you know how you have to do it from the little ledges that they have, like it'd be cool if you could just scramble up the whole wall instead of like having just to find those specific ledges. But that'd just be another
Yeah.
mechanic that I'd have to try and like change and implement. But yeah, I like you are right, Leaky. I feel like it never gets talked about, but it's there. Did you like weapon mods, Leaky?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
loved
right.
it. I mean, at the start of the season, literally started like probably got 500 gold a game, immediately gone after upgrading one weapon.
I was
After I
the same.
started like getting
Same.
more comfortable with just running around with like blank weapons, no mods.
Yeah.
Start building up my gold. Every game I had a mod.
I only use the scopes. I love having the first person scopes.
Yeah, they're nice.
I love the mods actually.
I like
That
the
kind of
hollow
bumps
sight.
bumps the loot pool to a 7 for me.
I generally actually like. I was seeing the other day. I was playing when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle challenges were out, right? And I was generally just like vibing with the loot pool because like they had the turtle mythics, you had the business turret, you've got all this the cool guns and that. I don't know. I think this is a solid loot pool. I wouldn't say it's definitely not the worst we've had.
Oh, we've had way worse.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like there maybe could have been a couple of more unvolts, but because we had that mid season event with the turtle mythics, yeah, I think it was fun. I think it was pretty good. Did you guys feel like, are you kind of on par with me? I feel like Leaky might be a little bit different actually. Do you guys feel like your enjoyment kind of stayed steady throughout the season, or do you think it like decreased at a certain point?
Decreased.
Yeah.
I feel
Decreased
like
after the first 2 weeks, then I started not liking it as much. But I was kind of
I feel
forced to
like-
play ranked because of zombie.
I feel like my enjoyment's pretty skewed across this entire season because I'm kind of I play all the game modes. Battle Royale for me, I didn't expect much because I wasn't trying to get my hopes up. I didn't want to think like, oh, this could happen, story elements. I didn't want to go that far because I didn't know what the last thing Donald Mustard worked on would be. So I didn't know if it was going to be instantaneously into Charlie One's new story or if it was going to be something left over and feel a little dry. I feel like for me, my enjoyment's pretty steady because I didn't expect much. And as soon as we got Lego Fortnite, it was like, oh, this is awesome. Over time, it's like, okay, I've done everything. Now I don't know what to do. So I was just, kind of sit here for a bit until we get something better. Rocket Racing, my enjoyment it peaked the first week. I loved it. And now I'm just like, okay, I go back to it for XP and to do some challenges, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of worth in doing it right now.
Yeah.
Like there doesn't feel like there's many cosmetics or like rewards or anything that you can earn because it's all just the same trail, just a different color, and it's all from increasing your rank and going up to Unreal. I feel like if they had a few more challenges, a few more rewards that you can earn, kind of like what Rocket League does, I feel like then it would be a little bit more intriguing for me. So that it was high and then it dropped down. But Fortnite Festival,
Hell
my
yeah.
enjoyment, it peaked and it stayed that way.
Yep.
Fortnite Festival for me is by far one of my favorite modes in Fortnite right now. And
Agreed.
it's obvious. I mean, the fact that I'm doing stuff for it every week now.
If you guys hear a bit of a
Yeah,
weird
it's the
laugh
only
in
one
here
that
as well, I just want to
stayed consistent.
apologize because I have like a cough. So when I laugh, I cough at the same time. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, but Fortnite Festival this week, holy crap, that's going to be nice.
Sure, do you want to let them know what got released for the people that are listening? I know they've probably already seen it, but still, just so people know what we're referring to.
This week for Jam Tracks, we've got Disturbed, Down with the Sickness, Linkin Park, Numb. We've got Panic at the Disco, High Hopes, Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., You got Ed Sheeran, Jack Harlow, Paramore, Portugal the Man. There's a lot of stuff this week.
It was a good week. Yeah.
Probably one of the best they've done.
Lincoln, back to what you Lincoln partner. Going back to what you said. With a festival, I think festival is a really to me it's the strongest game mode. I think statistically it might be as well out of besides BR on that. But I think having a new season midway through a full Fortnite season is amazing because it just kind of fills in that boredom gap a little bit. Because everybody's going to like festival. Everyone's going to go play because there's a skin, there's new music tracks, and weekly we're getting new gem tracks. So I feel like festival is just a really good to help fill in that sandwich of the boredom stages. So I really, really enjoy festival. What about you?
And I kind of hope that they do the same thing with Rocket Racing too.
Yeah.
They're in season 0 right now. So I kind of hope that at some point they add a little bit of I don't know if I want necessarily a pass to grind, but I feel like if they added a couple of tracks of rewards, kind of like challenges, how we have them now, where if you complete a set amount of challenges, you get a reward, complete even more, you get a reward, but it's a selection of stuff you could do and you can choose which one you want.
Yep.
I feel like that would be perfect for a season for Rocket Racing, but I don't know if I want a full track, a full battle pass type thing.
For me, Rocket Racing was I've never really enjoyed it too much. I find I had high expectations in terms of a bit more of a Mario Kart style game.
Yeah.
Collecting
Same.
level up stuff and abilities and all that, but it's just pretty much Rocket League racing in Fortnite. And it's just, I don't know, it's just boring to me, and I just don't find it fun grinding challenges just through ranking up, because I know we have different tracks, but it's just still the same stuff. It's just racing and there's nothing fun and unique to it if you had abilities and stuff. But what about you, Leaky? How did you find your enjoyment throughout the season?
It was pretty good. Starting off with a good BR, then moving on to Festival and Lego. Obviously, Lego has been the downside of the new modes. Then going on to Rocket Racing for a bit, that was pretty fun. But I feel like a lot of people have stopped playing that and moved on to Festival.
Yeah.
Obviously, due to the stats. Going back on what you said about having a new festival season start in a mid PR season.
Yeah.
Is such a good timing to have at the end of a season, because that means that'll bring in more players because they'll want to play festival,
Mhm.
and those people from festival want to play BR. So it's just a back and forth. But I think it was a great game modes
Mhm.
at the start for a chapter, because this is the first time that we've ever really had something like multiple modes to play in a chapter.
Especially all being made by Fortnite, besides
It
LTMs.
feels
I
like
was
entirely new
expecting-
games.
Yeah.
I was expecting Festival to be buggy and Rocket Racing be buggy, Lego be buggy, but there was really nothing to really complain about. It was such a great start.
I feel like Lego, we all went in, there was 2-3 million players all on Lego as soon as it launched. It was crazy. I thought that game mode was going to be just the best thing ever. The reason why I think it fell off so hard is because once you've completed everything, there's no replayability. And another thing that really annoyed me is that you could only build a certain amount of structures in an area before you couldn't build anymore. And I feel like that really limits the whole point of being creative and building and going crazy on your builds because of that limitation. And I think the updates that we've had in Lego haven't been that good in my opinion. We've had fishing, but who wants to go out and fish? There's no fun to that. I feel like they really need to add some cool stuff, but Festival's definitely carried on that behalf. So
And there doesn't feel like there's an end game.
Yes, that's what Zombie was saying the other day.
If you look at things like Pal World, or you look at things like Minecraft, those particular games, they have this survival crafting element. They have this element where you can build, you can do whatever you want, make your own bases and everything. But Lego Fortnite, that's all you've got. You just build, you harvest materials, you craft stuff, you get the NPCs into your area and fight monsters, but there's nothing else. There doesn't really feel like a reason to continue once you get a certain point.
I think the only so-called leveling up feeling is that you get through progressing through each biome. But like you said, there's no end game to it. There's no big final boss, or you've got the different brutes, but that's about it. There's nothing. It doesn't feel rewarding and achieving to getting to the end. It's you get there and you're now what? Do I keep building? oh yeah, I want to keep building,
Yeah.
but then boom, you got a limitation because the world's full, and I expected to have a lot more updates pushed through Lego Fortnite, but it just didn't. So it's a bit sad, really, because I
Yeah.
had a lot of high hopes for it. I do one thing
Had to
though.
have high hopes for a living.
Yeah. I do I like that they're releasing like LTMs for it, or like game modes for it, like apart from just the actual Lego one itself. Like we got the obby and then we got the raft survival. They're really fun. I think that's cool if they keep doing more of that with like UEFN and Lego. So there is a bit more of a potential out there using the whole Lego features. One thing that we had this season that we've recently just gone through, which I really friggin' missed because it was a ton of fun, is we had a live mini in-game event, which was a ton of fun. A couple of days ago, we were tracking some cracks in the ground, and it progressively got bigger and bigger. We started seeing lava in the cracks, and then boom, a hand came out of the ground live. And it wasn't just like, load up until next match is there. It was live. Like the actual hand came out. We got to witness it and that. And then for the next like 24-ish hours plus, we were harvesting away at chains, and every like so often would break the chains. Once the chains broke, Pandora box fell onto the ground live again and unleashed like all of the chaos that it has in there, which is leading into next season. What did you think about the mini event Purex? Did you feel like were you happy to have him back?
Yes, I like it. I didn't participate much in the chains, but I personally really like mini events because at least it makes the community help out, and it's just more fun when stuff actually happens on the map that kind of leads into the next season. So I enjoyed it, and it's a while since we've had it. So
Yeah.
And it's cool too. It wasn't just like a little small thing. It was something that affected the actual map and affected the gameplay, kind of, with the tornado popping up.
Because we haven't had,
Yeah, I think it's cool.
We haven't had something like this properly since like Chapter 2, Season 8 with the cubes moving around. So like myself, I really enjoyed, well, Brad did a lot of the work, FN assist, but tracking it all was a ton of fun. And I opened up a customs community in the Discord, which is the links in the bio, by the way. So if you guys want to join it, I did the customs. Everybody came in. We had a ton of fun with that. We were all pickaxing chains, and yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it, like bringing the community together. But Leaky, what do you think about the mini event?
I think it was probably because it was leaked. Sadly, it was leaked.
Yeah.
But for it being leaked, I think it didn't die in hype. The community loved. They would take anything. They would take like the smallest thing because we haven't had such like anything like that in a while. I think in terms of mini events, if I had to rate it, probably 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it was the best community mini event we've gotten, like, I think of all time.
Of all time?
Damn.
Of all time.
I like that. No, I respect that, man. Because
I mean, think about it. I mean, how many community events have we gotten?
We had the one where in chapter 1, season 8, where the runes were floating around. That one was my favorite.
That was cool because
then
we had to do multiple
Yeah,
different
'cause they had the
challenges with
puzzles
that.
too.
Yeah, there was puzzles mixed with
Yeah.
the runes. That was
I like that one the most.
Yeah.
And it also led to a really awesome event. So
because we had that
I
with
do think that was the best.
we had that with the runes, and like each room would have like a different challenge. I remember there was one like you had to get the colored tiles and all that, and then we also had the rocks that we had to destroy to reveal the lava, the dig sites. That was really cool. So that was all in the one season, and then I think
Yep.
the one after that was just the cubes, wasn't it? There was no other mini in-game event.
Well, even that wasn't necessarily a community event.
True.
The only two community ones we've ever had were just the unvaulted one and the hand one.
Yeah.
So I think that in itself is what brought a lot of players back, is because we haven't had that since chapter 1, and we're finally getting back to that point again. But
we've been starved.
as he was saying, as Liku was saying, with the community will take anything. They will take anything that feels like the nostalgic live events we had from chapter 1. If it's anything like what we had in chapter 2 and 3, where it was kind of like the more cinematic stuff, but also not necessarily like, when is this going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
We all had the timers. So it would say like, okay, this is going to happen on this day at this time, be prepared.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing like, okay, when could this happen? Because this box could fall at any moment here. It's based on when the community decides it.
That was fun.
So
I love that element of surprise.
Yeah.
And that felt like old Fortnite
I,
to me. Like with the runes, I don't think we really knew when it was going to move or what was going to happen. So like, I remember just playing with some mates, and next minute this friggin' thing shoots up into the sky and like locks into the vault. I'm like, what the heck? That's the stuff I miss, and I feel like the hand kind of gave that aspect again. I don't know, man. I just love having like doing the customs was some of the most fun thing I've done in a long time in Fortnite, and it just brought my hype back. And it is a good like for the storyline enthusiasts out there too. It's a good way to like add a bit of storyline and kind of join it with the next season to carry it on over, so it's not just like a dead cut off and it's like, oh wow, magic Greek gods just suddenly appear. Like I know people were comparing, saying like this season went from like finding Peely to Greek gods, which it did, don't get me wrong. But if you like, I was watching some storyline videos today, but behind the scenes there was actually a lot of story build up that nicely progressed. A lot of it was in storyline dialogues. There was one loading screen and that, but like it was just like what's her name, Valeria, yeah, she was behind the scenes
Yeah,
while the
Valeria.
society and the underground were fighting, and she was researching this Pandora's box. So like she was in the background, kind of like leading up to this next storyline and that. But if you want to get into that, like that's a whole other topic. But I think it did connect nicely with the mini event, but the story as well. So I think I can kind of see where Charlie's starting to step in now, and he's trying to like connect the pieces a bit. But we'll find out next season for the story. I think I just want it to be a good story, you know.
I hope we get a good story, and I think Charlie's. I think he understands it more already. Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's more of a grip on the story, and there's actually stuff happening instead of us waiting 3 seasons for like 3 seasons in a row where it's just here's a small story, we win, blah blah blah. Next one, here's a new one, blah blah blah. Next one. I feel like these 2 seasons are connected in a way, which I like.
It kind of takes
plus,
you. Oh, you go, Straw.
I was going to say, plus this guy that we've got coming in for the story, he is like one of the best when it comes to art, animation, and design and writing. Like this guy, do you guys know what he's worked on?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he is, for those of you who don't know, he's worked in the art department on the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy film, Thor. He worked on the original God of War. Like this guy has a track record of doing some really good stuff. So the fact that he is now the new creative director of Fortnite, like you know it's going to be good.
I think his lack of social media presence is going to make up for the story. I feel like Donald was the opposite way around. He was like heavy on the social media and teasing, but the story didn't add up too well. But you know how Purex was saying before how he likes how the story is kind of like progressing into the next season. It kind of takes me back to like the season 7 to season 8 chapter 2 days. Like, you know how the story progressed from like the last reality with the spaceships and all that, then they moved into like, you know, the actual proper like queen coming out that was caused by it and all that. So I like that crossover and that connection. And I feel like even though we didn't get like it directly in our face, the story, there was slight progression behind the scenes that you do have to dive in a little bit more, which that's something I don't want to do as much. I would like to have maybe a cutscene in the middle of a season or whatever, or maybe more loading screens. But I do feel like there is a bit more of a progressive story that's simple, but it will turn out into something that could be bigger and better. So there is a bit of progression through that.
Not to mention, when they made Fortnite originally, Donald Mustard had this plan in his head of what he wanted to do. But of course, they were held back by limitations of the fact that the game was new and it had been built on this small map that they were not easily able to edit and change up.
Yes, yeah.
So that limited a lot of the stuff that they could do. So their plans, they were halted and they were a lot more mishmashed together. Charlie Wen is starting off with everything already established.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got everything all set. They have no limitations. He's ready to go. I have no doubt in my mind that from now on, we should be seeing the story get a lot better.
Yeah. He can, like I said, he can
good.
He can add whatever he wants, you know?
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like Donald Mustard got to a point where he was confused about every single story he was doing. Like, I don't know, that's what it felt like, because it just started feeling like, I mean, it was like that for a while, where it's just too messy. It feels like he thought about too many things and he didn't know how to incorporate it properly and stuff like that, which is obvious. He has a creative, what was it? Creative director?
Yeah.
On Fortnite. So of course, he's not a god at storytelling.
Not to mention, not only was he the creative director, he was basically like the face of Fortnite for a lot of different things. I mean, he
Yeah.
would go out to all of the different like game awards, and I mean, he was in Free Guy, he was in
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame, like
Star Wars. He was one of the clone troopers. Like,
yeah, he was, yeah.
He was in John Wick as well. John Wick 3.
Yep.
jeez.
And he's got a lot of stuff that he's done, so he's not just doing Fortnite. And I feel like
Oh yeah.
that in itself was also kind of like affecting
Yeah.
how everything flowed together.
When
But
you think of Fortnite, you think of Donald, and I think that Donald was very, very heavy on the collabs. Like that was his desire.
Yep.
He wanted to try and get us. That's why he loved the 0 point so much, because like without having to have a good excuse, he's like, oh, the 0 point pulled in this collab or pulled in that collab. That's why he loved that story so much. I think because he could add whatever collab he wanted without having to have like a justified reason for it, because he could just say, oh, the 0 point pulled it in, which, you know, it is what it is. But
and him designing the comic covers too. For
yes,
some of those.
yeah, he did a lot of side projects, and I truly think like I would genuinely like to know when Donald stopped telling his story. Like, but I think Chapter 3, Season 2 was the official end of his story, and that's where it ended.
You mean Chapter 4, Season 2?
No. Chapter 3, Season
Chapter
2.
3?
Yeah, Chapter 3, Season 2, when the collider exploded and all that. And I don't know,
You think so?
maybe even pushing it to the end of Chapter 3, but I think from Chapter 4 onwards was just like, I don't know, it just felt like it wasn't him, or it was just someone.
I don't think it was Charlie either. I feel
No, I
like
don't think it was either.
I think it was just maybe the entire team just making stuff up.
Just
I guess.
mini
I don't
stories
know.
to keep
I
us
think
entertained until they found a new
Donald's-
director.
I think Donald gave them a roadmap and said like, okay, this is what we should do until we get to that point to establish Charlie's new universe. So let's kind of ease into this point where we can have enough time to work on all these different modes and then incorporate a way for where all of them to come together. That's kind of how I see him doing it,
Yeah.
because it's obvious he definitely he retired from his position a lot sooner than he announced. I'm certain of that.
Oh, 100%. You could even tell that within the game of the story.
I think he did good, all things considered.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy he had a lot going on, and he still managed to do so much for all of us.
I mean, Chapter 2, man, was
So-
like peak story for him. Like we had the beautiful cinematics, events.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that's where his work truly shined. And I feel like after like just midway through Chapter 3 and that, like he started to, you could tell that he was ready to retire, because it wasn't as fluid. Like there was a lot of plot holes, don't get me wrong, but like it was a lot more gaps in between of the actual story. So, which is a bit sad, but hey, at least we got a new thing to look forward to. Leaky, do you enjoy the story? Do you feel like that helps? Does the story give you enjoyment, or do you not really care for it too much?
That's such a like weird thing to ask. I mean, it's not a weird thing to ask, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Like nowadays at least. Chapter 4, I just don't think it had much story to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, like those are so lore ridden. It was so good, even though there wasn't a lot of lore this chapter. Well, I mean, it's first chapter. I mean, first season of this chapter, but I think we got a good dose of lore this season. I mean, it was pretty small, but the end result was probably the best we've gotten in a while.
Yeah, I mean, starting off small is good. I think
That's what I was about to say. I think
Yeah.
starting off small is actually better than like just jumping straight into the deep end and going, "Oh, big bad already here!" Like,
Yeah, though I am scared because that's literally what they're doing right now. We went from rescuing a banana to gods being here, but it makes sense.
The one thing I don't like, though, that they've been doing a lot with these last couple seasons and even the last chapter, they're forcing a lot of the lore into NPC dialogue. I
hate
don't
that.
like that.
Hate it.
Oh, it's
I
so
don't like that at
annoying.
all.
I hate it.
'Cause if
I'd
you're gonna
rather
tell a
have them,
story, why
like-
would you tell it through them?
Yeah, I'd rather have them instead of wasting time on those, make like trailers like halfway through the season where we get like a
Or
season, a little
just
trailer.
just bring back quest dialogue,
Wait,
Or how
I
about
don't know
this?
about that.
If they're so
like voice lines. I mean,
if they're so interested in adding a lot of this lore into this dialogue, what I think they should be doing, we have a character page already set up in game. They should make it so that if you talk to an NPC, you unlock some lore pages where you can
That'd be
read
cool.
about what's actually happening.
hmm
Yeah,
They've done that before with Destiny and some other games. You talk to certain things, you do certain activities, you unlock a page of lore where you can read through it and be like, oh, cool, I didn't know this happened or this was happening. If you do
Yeah.
that, I feel like then they can incorporate this lore a lot better into these characters through this dialogue. But the fact that you just have to go and talk to them mid-match and hope you don't die,
Yeah.
well, okay.
What they could also do is if they're too busy doing that, or too busy to do that, they could do weekly loading screens that tell the story
I was about
as
to say
well.
that.
Exactly.
I was
Those I hope those return.
Chapter
Those are so
1
good.
was carried. The story of Chapter 1 was carried because of those loading screens. Like
We never would have known what happened with the prisoner.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
If it wasn't for that, never would have known. Never would have known that
And it's
Peelies were
not
gathering like sacrificial things on the
Yeah.
top of the volcano.
it's not spoon feeding us. Like we're working together as a community to figure out what's going on.
But
Like
there's a bit more
it
of
shows us
answers
an
still
image.
there, like at least
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
in a perfect world for me, to have a perfect storyline, I would love to, like you said, Purex, every week we have a weekly loading screen progressing through, showing us like what's happening. I would also
Yeah.
like to have, instead of just like normal quests, do the voice lines quests. So you do the voice line quests and you have like the main characters and story hero people and that they talking to you, blah blah blah. Once you complete that, you get a loading screen, and that happens every single week. Maybe that could just be its own like separate tab, and then just have your normal weeklies, but still get the weekly, like comes out every week with a weekly loading screen. Because like when we used to get the voice lines, they'd do it like every like 4-ish weeks, and it's like we didn't even get much from that. But had the
I
weekly,
wasn't a big fan of voice lines, to be honest.
see, I loved it. That really got me intrigued. I loved it so much. But have that, and then midway through the season, they just drop a trailer. They drop like maybe a minute trailer, just explaining or summarizing something, and then boom, we wait till like the end of the next season, start of the next season. But
To comment on the lore of the season, I did really like that. I noticed it like after the whole Pandora box thing and all that.
Yeah.
That Valeria was actually a bad person from the start, and we never realized it.
Yep.
Her let me find it real quick.
For Sign would love to be in here right
I
now.
mean, she did scream villain though. I wasn't following
it's,
the story the entire season, so I wouldn't
it's
know.
really
But
cool that no one noticed it. I noticed it like 5 days ago. So her back bling style is called Stygian,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
and
caught on to that one.
and that translates back to Hades in the underworld of the dead.
Jeez.
And that's like huge Greek mythology.
Yeah, Stygian in itself, it represents the dark and gloomy, like extremely dark and gloomy. And it's in relating to the river Styx, which, if any of you know anything about Greek mythology, the river Styx was basically like the main underworld river that the ferryman Charon would take the souls of the dead down to Hades.
Jesus. Dark.
So, yeah, but that also goes to show, like, if that's associated with Valyria, like,
Yeah.
there you go.
Like all
But
I oh, you go, like, you go.
You go.
Oh, okay. All I was like storyline, and if any people like Sign and that storyline people are gonna watch this, are gonna yell at me in that because I'm probably just gonna say some stuff wrong. But all I know is that like Valyria, from the very start, she had been studying the Pandora's box and all this like mythical stuff, right? And the reason why she kidnapped Peely, or that like the society kidnapped Peely, is so Valyria could lure Jonesy in so she could get answers from Jonesy, because she knew that Jonesy knew everything about the island and the previous islands and all that. He's the guy that has the most knowledge since Sloane's not on the island at all. I know she was looking for her because on the computers there actually was a silhouette of Sloane, so that was obviously another person that she wanted to get info from. But she got Jonesy, so that was the way she could get Jonesy's attention, by kidnapping Peely. She turns out that she didn't even really want to be necessarily connected to the society. She was just using him to get to Jonesy. She realized that Jonesy couldn't provide any answers in terms of what she was looking for. So then she progressed from researching the Pandora's box even more, and then that's when she was doing whatever she did, and she summoned the hand which contained the Pandora's box. So the reason why it's here is because she was the reason behind the whole like chapter, the whole season. She was sitting there plotting and planning to get the Pandora's box to happen. And I think that's where the storyline's going to be a nice crossover, because then we get to see hopefully why she wanted the Pandora's box in the first place and what she's going to use that for on the island with the gods.
To
Yeah,
give
and
more
that,
like you go.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna
Fully.
lead into something there. Apologize. I just wanted to mention quick another thing about Pandora's box, and this really represents what you were just talking about with Valyria. In Greek mythology, symbolically, basically, the Pandora's box represents curiosity and desire for knowledge that could lead to both positive or negative outcomes. And in this case, Pandora's box in itself, again, in Greek mythology, is known for something that brings nothing but great troubles and great misfortune. But there's also a sliver of hope that comes out of it.
Yay,
Which,
fun.
again, hope. We have a character in the Battle Pass named Hope.
Jeez. Okay.
So that also connects.
Well,
That was gonna be my next topic. That I feel like Epic did throw away at the end of the season. Like, well, not really throw away, but more didn't give really more context that Hope and Valeria are related.
Mm.
I feel like Hope's and Valeria's relationship were kind of really thrown under the rug,
yeah, I
and
agree with that.
just Valeria just got taken over due to her Pandora box.
I do know that in some quest dialogue, I believe that if you speak to if you speak to Valeria's Hope, it says that like there's no bad blood between them, and then that like she's still her sister, and she's not there to hurt her sister or do anything bad. Like they've resolved their conflict, but Valeria's got to do what she has to do, and she doesn't want like Hope kind of getting in her way, but like yeah, there's no bad blood between them. So I think there is a nice story to it, and I think there is like obviously there's probably people that don't read too much into it don't really know a ton, hence why the storyline channel's here at the moment. But I feel like they could have done a couple of more like maybe just loading screens throughout the season, just to kind of slightly progress it a bit more and help us understand. But at least there is a nice small foundation to develop a bigger story, which I'm excited for. Do you guys have any other like things you want to input about the story before we move on to the next topic?
It's garbage, and I don't have to.
Do better.
Not, not, not really. But yeah, I hope they, instead of teasing so much, that they actually show, because the story is just relying on teasing. That's why there's so many storyline channels and every single one of them explain the story differently, because we don't really understand what's actually going on in the
Yeah.
story. And I just want that back from chapter 1, where it's easier to tell what's going on with loading screens and voice lines, I guess. But I feel like a trailer or something in the mid-season would be good for like a bigger
I
update.
will be honest, I do find that I've been watching like a lot of storyline videos the past couple of days, and I do find pretty much every story channel is doing something along the same lines. Like everything is pretty much sounding the same, which is good because it shows that there is a bit more of a direction with the story. So that's one thing I'm happy about, but I do understand Purex, like what you're saying. Just loading screens are key in my opinion. Like it's not much. I mean, it is a bit of work because they got to create them, but like it's just they did it in the past. It helped. It worked, and it's not in your face like this is exactly what's happening. There's still like you can theorize around it, but there is a bit more of guidance directing the story in a certain direction. So, moving on to the next topic, we are fastly approaching the new season. This will be up before the new season launches, and it is going to be Greek mythology, which I think everyone's pretty much excited for because it's been like a long-awaited season theme. What are your guys' thoughts and wish lists on this current season? You can go as in depth as you want, leading to this next season. Like, what would you like to see? What do you think's going to happen? Battle Pass, like anything you have about this season, just hit me with it, and we'll start off with Leaky.
I'm really excited for it. I was hoping, I am hoping for. Obviously, I don't think it'll happen because it's kind of two different histories. But I hope they touch a little bit more on Nord Greek, like with
Ooh,
like Kratos and like whatnot. But
Is that
I
Greek
love
though? Is that not just Norse mythology?
yeah. It's more what you call it, Nord. Is that the word?
Norse mythology, I think.
Norse mythology.
Yeah,
But I love Greek and Norse. Like
yeah,
I think
same.
I for fiction, I think it's one of the best fiction. Would you call it history? It's not really history since it's fiction.
I mean, it
it
is
kind of
history.
is,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it depends
A lot of
on what you
cultures
believe
and
in.
yeah,
The context for it. The context for it.
Yeah.
I think it's. I mean, it's personally one of my favorite like subjects like to read upon because it's
Yeah.
so cool. Because like there's gods, there's uh mythical things. So I'm really excited for this season and how they turned it out too.
Yeah. What would you like to see added in this season, like in terms of like gameplay wise, weapon wise, and stuff like that?
Obviously, they are teasing wings. So personally, I would rather have an item rather than animals,
Mm-hmm.
since that would be more harder to get rather than, it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Because if you just have one item, one person will get it, not just, oh, you'll find this, then everyone will get it. So I'd rather them stick to how they did this season, like mythics, medallions. It's just one thing, one person.
Do you? I want to quickly like touch. I'll talk about it slightly, and then I want to get your input, Licky. But one thing that I think everybody pretty much doesn't want to see is like Zeus's thunder pump shotgun or like Hades like SMG or whatever. Like we want actual proper like mythic abilities that we can use, kind of like the Marvel season. I think everyone can pretty much agree on that.
Oh, please. Oh, that would be so cool.
Like,
Imagine you
imagine-
just strike someone with lightning or something.
Yeah, like imagine for example, I don't know, like you get an itemized thing, but then also an ability as well. So for example, you could get
Yeah.
Hermes boots mixed with like something else. I don't know what Hermes is. I'm not really that good with this stuff, but whatever
Yeah.
Hermes power could be. But yeah,
We're supposed to get Avatar as well, aren't we?
yeah,
Like,
woo.
yeah,
Hell
imagine we get like bending and stuff. That would be sick as hell.
And because it's like a
Yeah.
mid-season event, I think we might. I think we might.
See, with what you were talking about with Hermes, I just want to add on to that. I definitely feel like for this particular season, if we're going for like mythics and stuff, it's obvious. Just from the teaser alone with Zeus, we already know that we're getting Zeus's lightning bolt.
Oh yeah,
That is it. It's behind the constellation on the character model.
bro.
He's
What should be a
holding it.
pickaxe?
No. If it is, then I don't know. But I personally, I don't think they're gonna do Hermes because Hermes was basically like the messenger to the Olympic gods. He would be the person that goes between them, like, okay, I need to tell this person this, I need to tell this person this. The boots just helped him get there faster. Icarus, I feel like, would be much better for wings because, like I was saying earlier, which those of you who weren't hearing this, weren't even in the call, I was talking about how the wings of Icarus could be a great flying ability, a flying mythic, because if you use them too much, then they could just fall apart. When Icarus flew too close to the sun, the beeswax on them melted and they fell apart. He fell down and drowned. And that was the story of Icarus. So it's, if they're going full Greek mythology, that is the best way that they could go about that. Because if you want to add wing abilities, Icarus's wings is the best because it doesn't have a cooldown to the point where you can keep consistently using it throughout the match. You'd only be able to use it a certain amount of time and then they'd fall apart.
The only reason why I lean towards Hermes is because there is actually like a Hermes skin in the surveys. And like his crown thing that he has is literally like the wings from his shoes. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of like just using that more as an example. But
yeah,
I'd like
I
to
feel
see
like they're
that.
going to stick with the mythics being entirely through characters in the battle pass.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hermes is going to be in the battle pass. I'm pretty sure we already know who's going to be in it.
True. Yeah.
I did want to pop back in about like upcoming or wishes or theories about the Greek stuff. He did mention like Zeus's thunder pump shotgun and like blah blah blah. But there was leaked weapon mods that included fire bullets. So if they could, you might be dead on the nail.
Can we have a moment of silence for something the Fortnite's about to butcher, please?
Forget weapon benches. Instead of the weapon mods at those weapon benches now, we've just got like these little Greek mythological tables where you can just enhance your weapons using those fire bullets or poison bullets or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
It's cool, but bro, I just want mythical like actual abilities that we could use. Like imagine having like Zeus's, like I said, his thunderbolt, and it's like a I don't know, like a bit of a dagger thing. You throw it and like lightning strikes down the ground and deals damage. Like, please, we need that stuff.
Like Thor's hammer.
Yeah, Thor's hammer. Yeah, like stuff from the Marvel season. They could literally like reuse the assets almost and just like revamp it to like Greek stuff.
I think for me, the one thing that I'm really interested in seeing is it's a very popular, one of the most famous tales of Greek mythology, which is called Theogony, which is basically the clash of the Titans. So all of the gods fighting each other. I want to see something like that for this upcoming season.
That would be cool.
Cronus was the strongest of them, and his son, I believe it was Zeus, was the one that killed him. Basically, Cronus was like the really weird god that would eat his children. It was weird. I I don't know why that was a thing, but he was the most powerful, and it was like just the gods going at it, fighting each other. I really want to see something like that happening. And I feel like that could be the case,
With the Pandora's
especially
box.
if we have those characters on the map. But with Pandora's box too, yeah. I think that Theogony also had something to do with, and in the beginning, it was just like pure chaos, like dense darkness, nothing but just dark earth. And I think it was something about like Uranus and Earth came together and they gave birth to the Titans. I don't know too much about all that, but I definitely think that with Pandora's box, we could be unleashing this chaos,
Yeah.
thus resulting in this clash of the Titans. But that kind of goes from there, and it kind of leads to, all right, if we do have this clash of the Titans, how much destruction are we going to have? And how much of this destruction is going to lead to something else that we don't even know about? I really don't know where they could be going for this.
There's a lot
And
of in the surveys. There's a lot of apocalyptic themed skins. Wonder if like it will kind of lead to that down that route.
It could be like a whole Chapter 5, Season 3 apocalypse type thing.
Yeah, like we're dealing with the
But-
aftermath of what the gods like had left on the island.
Yeah. But another thing that I want to see too, you know how they do like those packs in Fortnite where they've got like the 3 separate characters that you could purchase in a pack, and you know that would be like the themed pack.
Yeah,
There is, ironically, there is another tale. They're called the 3 Sisters of Fate. So I
Oh.
feel like they could do skins based off of the 3 sisters. There's Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. So these 3 sisters, they weave the fate of the humans and gods alike. Neither human nor god really has the power to influence or question their judgment. Clotho is the youngest one. She spins the thread of life, and she's like the origin of creation itself. I feel like if they were to do that, the 3 sisters would be a perfect Greek mythological pack to purchase in the item shop.
yeah, that'd be cool.
But the 3 sisters themselves, they don't necessarily have like this really cool design to them. I mean, they're literally just 3 sisters. They're like the sisters of Dathomir, like from Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
They're there. They do the thing. So I feel like Fortnite has the potential to actually make them look cool, and they could even use existing character models like Calamity or Aura or whatever, and just create the 3 sisters out of them.
Yeah, that'd be sick. There's a lot of potential with this season, from skins to weapons to mechanics to creatures to items. Like there's heaps, and I think because this has been such a well anticipated season, I think Fortnite will go all out. Or at least hope the Fortnite will go all out on it. Because I know that season 2 they really like to sort of unleash the bag of all fun stuff. So fingers crossed.
And I
Season
have
2 is always the best season.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that has been the case forever. I do have one last thing that I've been thinking about a lot that I think this is the one that makes the most sense. The battle pass that we have this time, it's going to be entirely themed around just purely Greek mythological characters.
Yep.
As far as I know, there should not be any collaborations in this battle pass.
I hope
But
you're right.
with that being said, it really makes you wonder, okay, what should be that secret outfit? What should be one that is related to the story that shouldn't happen yet? And the only thing I can think of is Hades.
Yes,
We have
yep.
seen Cerberus, we've seen Ares, we've seen Zeus, we've seen the fish stick Poseidon. Like all of those definitely can be in the battle pass. I can see Cerberus being in the battle pass, maybe even tier 100. But Hades is the only one we haven't seen much of yet, and he is the one that could be behind a lot of this destruction. Everything that releases from the Pandora's box is not just the good and bad. I mean, there's also like the dead, like the underworld.
Yep.
I feel like they could even bring back like some separate story related mode where it's like us fighting the undead, trying to get to Hades and take him down.
That'd
I
be
feel
sick.
like that would
That'd
be
be
a
cool.
really good way to do it. But I definitely think Hades is going to be the secret outfit.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, because they tend to like having a villain as like when it's an original secret. They like to have a villain. Like remember that we had the Cube Queen. We had the Bloom Watcher. What was her name? The
Harold.
Herald. That's it. Like they love to have villains. So I feel like that could definitely be a thing.
I thought of one last thing.
Yeah.
One last thing. I was thinking about like, there's no way they're going to add Cronus. There's no way, because Cronus would be like, it would be too much. Especially if you're trying to just now introduce everything. The one thing though, that I think is perfect. You see Ruined Reels. You see how it looks. It's like Olympus. And it's got like this special coliseum where people can gather around and watch something on the giant billboard there, and they've turned it into a DJ stadium. But the one thing that I've been thinking about since that Titan hand emerged, I looked at that island, that specific part of the map, and that hand, I even drew a concept image on it on Twitter and everything. That hand is so perfectly placed right there that it makes sense that there is a giant Titan underneath Ruined Reels. The head of the Titan could be right underneath Ruined, the shoulders on each side, and the hand is just perfectly placed coming up out of the ground
That
right
would
there.
be cool. That would be really
There
cool.
is no way in my mind that there is not something under
I wouldn't
there.
mind that. That would be cool. I hope we get a cool live event for season 2. That would be so sick.
And we already have a character that looks like the Titan hand too. It's like a 0-point god.
Yeah.
So that could be what is under there.
Imagine like there's
that's
a
another thing
POY
that
and
I
it's just
thought of,
like the POY is just like, I don't know, on his back or something, and there's this big Titan on the map. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's exactly what I drew in the image. It's Ruined Reels being lifted up, and now it's on the back of this giant Titan. And again, Atlas was another Titan, the Titan god in Greek mythology. He basically carried humankind on his shoulders.
Jeez.
The entirety of Earth just being held by him.
That's cool.
So
I do think like
yeah.
this whole flying mechanic stuff that's being teased, and like Hypex a while ago did find some like flying rideable creatures that could be coming, whether it's creatures or a mythic or whatever. I do think a lot of maybe one or two of the POIs will be up in the sky, especially Olympus. And I think we'll have to either use that to fly up there, or there'll be like the grapple line things or whatever. But I do generally think that there will be some floating POI. And I feel like it's going to be over near Grand Glacier where the ice started to melt or something. I don't know. I feel like something's going to go over there, up in the mountains, you know?
That could also be where Hades' underworld is.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Because if it's melting,
yeah, true.
He's
heating up.
God of fire and death.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, Straw, about anything about?
I think I've said basically everything in terms of what I would want to see.
Okay.
It's all a matter of like, I feel like I'm getting my hopes up a little bit too much.
I think we all are.
they have so much potential with a Greek mythological season. Like there is so much they could do, and there's so much to theorize about. I can't wait to see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much, and I know they're gonna knock it out of the park.
What about you, Purex? What have you got your hopes locked on? Anything?
My hopes?
Yeah.
I don't have any. I hope we you mean for season 2, right? Like
yeah,
season 2?
Yeah, like do you have a
Okay,
wish list? Like what would you like to see, etc.?
Okay, so like I said, I do wish for loading screens, but I doubt that's gonna happen. And I don't mean just one like we got this season. I mean weekly, like an actual weekly loading screen that you can earn by doing your challenges. I wish for some good collabs, which, if true, we are getting Jujutsu Kaisen Wave 2, which I'm pretty excited for. But I hope more so. But I hope more so I get Attack on Titan Wave 2, because I feel like AOT got really done dirty with their collab, and it deserves more than what we got. So yeah, I hope for that, and I hope for some fun items, not boring guns, good loot pool, good POIs, cool POIs, and a good battle pass, a really good battle pass. That's what I'm hoping for.
You just reminded me of something too.
What?
With the Avatar event pass,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we have flying animals. So what if they
Oh,
add
yeah.
Appa as a flying
Appa,
animal?
that would be
Oh,
sick.
please.
I mean, we don't know if it's flying animals, do we? It could be.
Well, Hypixel
Well,
has
I mean,
leaked
wait,
it.
is it-
rideable animals.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I assumed it was flying.
It was flying, yeah, rideable flying animals.
But
it was
I'm-
like friggin'
yeah.
a year ago, if not more. Like,
Well, we have
Yeah.
Appa as a glider, but I don't know. I feel like that would be great to have it as a rideable.
I love an upper
character,
glider.
like
That'd
a
be sick.
creature.
Yeah. I mean, not glider, creature. That'd be cool. I feel like we're getting
Yeah,
our hopes
we
up a little bit too much for that, but yeah.
We are definitely getting our hopes up. Yeah, we're
Watching
definitely.
this, we're gonna
hoping
watch
right
this
now.
back after Friday and we'll be like, yeah, we were wrong on a lot of this. It's not as good as we thought.
No, just listen to what I've said about Greek mythology. Remember that when you see the new season, come back, see how much of it I was right about.
yeah.
But yeah, JJK
But yeah, that's
too.
what I
When
hope
you're
for.
talking about that, they have no antagonists for JJK yet, so I feel like Ryom and Sukuna would be a great one.
Yeah, I think it will. I hope it's a villain bundle. That's what I hope for.
Yeah,
Sukuna, Kenjaku, and Mahito would be great. Yeah.
I forget
my
who
wishes.
I posted about, but I think I said Sukuna, Gito, and Kenjaku.
I was gonna correct you there about a name, but it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know if I say it right.
So...
I
No, don't worry. It's a ghetto for.
Ghetto, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know JJK. I just
no,
know the
don't worry,
characters
bro.
based
Don't-
off some research, so that's
Don't
fine.
worry, bro.
Correct me, I don't care.
No, it's fine.
I'd rather get it
But yeah,
right.
those are my wishes. I wish for nothing else. I wish for a lot there, so I doubt any of that will happen. But yeah.
Look, if at least one thing happens, bro, like you would be happy. You'd be celebrating.
I'd be happy for 2 days, and then I'd be
yeah,
sad
that's
again.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys? We've received one teaser at the moment. After this goes out, there would have been like another 2 more that have been tweeted, so we don't know what that's going to be. But at the moment, we have the Zeus teaser. What's your guys' thoughts about the Zeus teaser?
I think it was a great way to tease everything being Greek mythological. I definitely think that it's much better if they don't reveal the entire battle pass, though. So I'm kind of hoping that this next one isn't another character. But
yeah,
the likelihood of it, they're probably going to tease the Poseidon fish stick or Ares. I have high hopes that it's going to be one of those ones we already know about.
We've only got a couple of days, so they can't, unless they do multiple teasers a day, they can't like show the whole battle pass. Like we're still waiting on creator teasers as well, which Lachlan said he was receiving a parcel last week, which still hasn't happened. Like they're cutting it really short.
I feel like those packages that they got, I feel like they're going to be more constellation based. Because I feel like that.
Ah, okay, yeah.
They probably got like blankets or towels or something like that, where it's just like a constellation pattern on it.
Yeah.
Maybe a small Pandora's box with something in it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna tease too much. I do think that at the very least they're gonna show things like Ares or it's blatantly obvious. I mean, we got statues on it on the map that it's Poseidon fish stick, so I think there's no reason to expect a normal Poseidon. Yeah, I don't think they're going to tease much. And I like that. I kind of hope that there's no leaks at all. I'd like to see
we
this all
haven't had
happen
any yet
on the first day.
Fingers crossed.
Well,
let's not speak too early.
These next couple
Once
of days
this
are quite
podcast is out,
scary.
everything is out.
Yeah.
If
Usually.
it releases, I'm not looking at it. This is going to be the first time I want to see it all on day one.
See, I say that, but I still look.
Yeah, we always look.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaky, what do you think about the teasers and that? And do you think the season's going to get leaked? Because I know you like to jinx it sometimes.
I mean, it is great that the way they're teasing it at this moment. I mean, it's been one teaser as recording this, but I think if they keep it on the way they're doing it, as they're showing the constellation and the character behind it, I feel like it'll be really good teasers. And if they keep on like how they're showcasing it, because the thing is, I don't like how they showcase everything in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that ruins everything and hype. So for them to showcase things one by one, I think it'll be a great build up for it.
I just hope they like the one teasers that I hated was chapter 4 season 2, the mega pass, like when they did they literally gave away the whole skin and the set, like the back bling, like the loading screen, like everything, bro. Like I hate that type of stuff. And they even did something similar with Wilds too, like they just revealed the whole skin. at least with this one, at least it's a bit like we can still see the skin, but it's not like here's his back bling, here's his pickaxe and all that. You know, it's builds a bit of like suspense, but we still get to see a little bit. And my voice is going, so can someone else talk?
I definitely think if anything, the next teaser, like if I'm going based off of how they've had the constellations appearing on Pandora's box, I feel like since Zeus was first on that list, Cerberus head would be next. So it probably is Cerberus that is the teaser today.
Okay, yeah.
I said this yesterday, but I wish they wouldn't just show us the skins, and I wish they would go more secretive with their teasers than they do. Like, for example,
Yeah.
Chapter 2, Season 2. I feel like those were probably the most perfect teasers we've had. We got a bunch of them, but none of them actually spoiled, like, big stuff. So,
I think what could have been a really good way for them to do this, the Zeus teaser, instead of it being the full skin like it did with the constellation over it, I feel like if they did just the constellation with the lightning bolt, maybe a hand of Zeus holding it, that would have been a good teaser.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a great teaser, actually. Yeah, just tease. Make teasers tease instead of showing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
and like the Ares one, his helmet is the constellation, so it could just be like a side view of his helmet.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. See, that's a good idea. They could have done that instead of showing the full thing.
Yeah.
It's just a bit annoying to me, but it is what it is.
One thing I was saying to Purex was, my voice is back, but one thing I was saying to Purex is that Zeus to me looks very plain, and I feel like he could potentially be like a tiered progressive skin, if not like his final form being tier 100, and he's like
I hope they bring those back.
Because
I hope.
It doesn't look like Zeus it does look like Zeus, but it's so plain for who he is, and I just feel like he's going to have progressive stages.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of them will have stages or styles at least that put more armor and stuff on him and make him look like it. Because I think I said this, but Zeus looks very, very Fortnite-y. Of course, he's in Fortnite, but the guy has shotgun shells. Why does Zeus need shotgun shells?
Yeah.
I wish he'd look more like the bearded guy that he is with his lightning bolt, and maybe like his glider could be like a cloud where he glides down on that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Imagine it's just like these golden stairs that he walks down, like the Cube Queen stairs, except it was just Zeus's.
That would be cool.
That'd be sick.
That would be cool. Yeah. But yeah, I just wish teasers would tease more. Basically, that's what I want.
Leaky, what was your favorite set of teasers that like Fortnite's ever done?
I think it might have to go for Chapter 2 Season 2.
Hell yeah.
W, good pick.
Like, I think that was probably the best teasers we've gotten.
Yeah.
Either that. Okay, this is gonna sound really bad because it was teasers for a bad season. You're probably already thinking, what I'm about to say. Chapter 2 Season 6.
I agree. No, I agree with that because we were actually talking about it earlier today. They were amazing.
It was amazing teasers, but obviously the outcome for the season.
Yeah. Like I liked how we got the Jones talking, but also showed stuff in the background too. I think that I agree with you. I think they were really good teasers. That they're probably one of the more unique style teasers that we've received.
Yeah, they were actually teasers. They weren't showers. They can just call them showers at this point because they're just showing it. We see the entire skin, bro. They can brighten up the picture, and then we can see the colors too. So it's just annoying.
Do you guys have any like last comments? Because I need to start wrapping this up because we've got 30 minutes before the next teaser drops, and my voice is starting to disappear.
I think I've said everything that I could say about Greek mythology in this upcoming season. All of my theories are exactly what I've stated. I would love for all of that to happen.
Yeah.
At the current moment, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. What about you, Leaky? Do you feel like you've said everything?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've said everything I need to.
I actually do have one more thing.
Yeah.
You were right. I know way too much about this stuff. I am such a boomer. I was listening to myself speak about it. Like I felt so passionate talking about all this, and then I just got through it. And after you started talking about other stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I am such a history nerd.
No, I like it because that means this season's going to be really like you're going to be in your element, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to know everything.
You know, like all the subtle references,
like,
in the POIs and stuff. But as always, I'll leave Leaky and Straw's accounts. Yeah, Twitter. Do you guys have your YouTube and all that linked on your Twitter?
No. I do, or at least I should.
Okay, I'll just leave.
Yes, I do.
I'll just leave their socials down in the description, whether that's Twitter, YouTube, and that. So make sure to go follow them, subscribe to them, whatever. Leaky, do you have any shout outs to anyone that you'd like to mention?
Don't think so.
There's not even one shout out to like a friend or something,
Uh,
or a plug, or just anything, bro. Go crazy.
shout out that one guy.
Hell yeah, that one guy out there. Shout out to you.
Yeah, that one guy out there. Yeah.
You know who you are.
I think Leaky's like the first person that's actually not like shouted out or plugged anything. Like,
I have nothing to plug.
yeah, just go follow Leaky, guys. He actually like he provides some pretty good leaks. Like it'll be quiet,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden Leaky will just drop like something that he's found. It's like holy. So
We wouldn't have known about the JJK stuff if it wasn't for Leaky.
Leaky is like one of those leakers that I actually generally like to see his like posts, because it's not just like your typical everyday leaker stuff that every leaker does. He likes to dive into the files and look for secret stuff. So
Yeah.
which I love about that. Straw, got any plugs or shout outs?
My YouTube, that's about it for me. And well, shout out to my history teacher for teaching me all this shit.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, shout out to you, Miss. I
Shout
don't
out.
remember your name.
Oh, there's one thing I'm
Gonna
sad
say
about
that,
actually.
but I don't.
I never got to learn like Greek mythology in school. I think it was can't remember what it was actually. I think it was just like
We learned Norse.
I think it was medieval times, really, more the medieval side of stuff, like knights and that.
We never went over any of that in school. I did all that research myself. I started talking about it, and then she helped me research more. So that's
Nice,
just
good teacher.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's very nice.
Yeah. Purex, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Shout out to you guys for being on this podcast. It was awesome.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
dude's so
man.
punched.
And as Purex would always say, shout out to Mr. Popcorn.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Popcorn, my best bald friend. That's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see him on Thursday with Panic at the Disco.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Straw and Leaky, for being a part of it. Like I said, there are links and that will be down in the description, so make sure to go follow, subscribe, and support them in every way possible. And stay tuned for the next episode, which I want to try and aim for every 2 weeks, just so I don't get burnt out. And that will be just after the new season launches, so we'll get to see, like, you know, look back on this and see how, if we were right or wrong or whatever, and go from there, have our thoughts and opinions. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.